Hey folks, how's it going? Time for another exciting episode of Rebel Crown. I have to say, I'm always entertained by the fact that we all race at like midnight on Sunday to be like game week. I think Lauren won this
It's my
particular.
first time.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
proud.
don't participate because it would be unfair. 'Cause that's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon here.
I
Like,
mean, if you want to set a clock, Luke, I ain't gonna begrudge you. Hi, I guess I'll kick off the intros. I am Strash, he, him. I'm one of the regular streamers here. Um, I just wanted to remind everyone that until further notice, which because the world is kind of in a state of apocalypse, we don't know when that's going to stop. All donations, whether they are from tier subscriptions, etc., we are splitting between BLM and the Trans Legal Defense Fund because those are just some charities of our choice. Yeah, that's going on here. That's what's going on with the channel. That's me, Luke. How you doing?
Hi, I'm well. I have a new microphone. There is some audio improvement. That podcasting life. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm well. I had a job interview the other day. I think it went okay. That's me. Judd, how have you been doing?
Not bad. I played last night on this very channel with Sean, and we played our dwarven prince game, which was fun, and I think that is going to be coming to an end probably in the next couple of sessions, and then we'll go on to book 3, which is cool. And yeah, here we are again tonight. It's good to be back. How are you doing, Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I use she, they. I'm at SJKB on Twitter. I'm doing pretty good. I took the day off. It's just still kind of a novel concept after catching up on a lot of vlogs over the past couple of months. New Zealand had its election that was exciting to watch. I got to call my family and stay up till 4 in the morning watching that because it kicked off at midnight, which was totally worth it. But I digress. Tonight I'll be playing Kale, who uses she, her. She is the claimant in Rebel Crown, and she is sort of is like kind of leading this coterie of friends that she has or colleagues that she has on being Brother Aaron, our sort of like very priestly, alchemical person who has a lot of good guidance and wisdom, and Altair, of course, my most beloved sort of second cousin or something, who is great, who wasn't like, oh gosh, you love horses, trying to get shit done and are really pro beating people up to get it if needed, apart from horses, obviously.
All true facts.
Just
And-
artifacts.
Yeah, totally. I think I'd like to say about Kale so far. She like confronted I forget the merchant's name, but we stuck into her chambers and like hey, you should totally support us, and also like acquiesce to like let us lead your people, and together we will take over this corrupt evil ruler kingdom place. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'll toss it back to Strash.
Actually, I think we're kicking this off to Judd. I didn't see any
Oh,
notes
sweet.
in
Sorry,
Roll
Judd.
20. I'm not running, so yeah.
Back to
I
Kevin
have
Villainy.
a note in roll 20. I have a note in roll
Oh
20.
yeah, please,
Oh, do you?
please, Luke. You're
Technically, we haven't officially finished downtime yet.
Oh, all right. Take it
And I
away.
do have a special ability that says that during downtime, I may give myself or another party member +1 downtime action.
Dope.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know what I want to do with it yet, so I thought I would open up the table. What do we want to do with this downtime action? Because we are about to probably go do a violence, so like we could get ourselves a second small army. That could
Oh,
be a good
we,
thing.
we have a first small army. Please tell me about our first small army.
Okay,
We're still in
so
spring.
first-
Levies happen in summer.
Levies just happen when we take when we gain rule over a domain.
So technically, we have
Province,
vassals.
fucking-
We don't technically do.
No, so we have 2 holdings in
Uh-huh.
the Sedgelands,
Yes.
which means we own the majority of holdings in the Sedgelands.
Let me switch this to the map
book,
just so that everyone can follow along.
We've ruled the Sedgelands,
Yep.
and the main benefit, one of the main benefits we get from ruling the Sedgelands, or any province for that matter, is that we get a free levy.
Oh, cool.
So we have a levy of scouts.
Type
They
scouts.
are
Got it.
good at where is the bit?
Scouting.
They are good at surveying threats, traveling
Hmm.
unseen, and ambushing targets.
Nice.
The 3 most important stats. So we have them. Now, that said, there's only... Where's the bit where it talks about the size of levies? Here we go. We're like a tier 1. We're tier 1. There's about 12 people in our levy. But that's okay. We can make do.
That's fine.
Um,
What are do they have
yeah.
flaws?
They don't. It's
Okay.
it's much simpler.
No, it's fine.
Than it usually is. Yeah, so we've got them, which, you know, that's a good tool in the score we're probably about to do. But if it breaks out into like fighting in the hallways, I figure that like a thing that might be helpful is to also have a levy of like soldiers, which we can use a downtime to get, I think. We haven't had to do this yet, which is why I'm not sure. We can raise a group of things, blah, 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 blah. Roll our tier. Yeah, we can just do that.
We can just raise a levy
We
here.
can just muster a levy for like
Muster.
the duration of a sortie.
Look at those fun official terms here.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get.
But
my
you know what, like,
spreads.
fuck it. I think I'm gonna go with it. Like, I think at the end of the last session we did have that like little parlay where it was established that like some kind of a violence was a brewing.
Yeah.
And so I think Brother Oren goes out one night among the refugees at the southern markets.
Really? I feel like if we're going to muster soldiers, it may be better to just let Artair grab some from the guard. Because we were training a combination of guardsmen and scouts, if you recall, like in fiction.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
feel like that's our scout levy, right?
I feel like Drosten's raiders are definitely our scout levy. If we want proper fighters, we can draw them from the guard at the market. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a much stronger fighting unit than refugees. You're probably not going to find a lot of soldiers. You're going to need a lot of training and time, right? Like the
Yeah,
thing
no,
that
okay,
makes
that's fair.
a soldier in this scope is just years of
Experience.
not having to fight for food and hold down a day job and instead just training to murder folks and not get murdered. So
Yeah, no, fair enough. All right, in which case, Strash, I will give unto you
cool.
this downtime action.
Sounds good. I'm going to raise a levy. So we roll what? Our tier. Roll retinue's tier to determine levy's quality. So I'm just gonna do that and roll 20.
Yep, and we are, I believe, still tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, okay, Strash, here's a conversation.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Do we actually want a second infantry? Do we want an infantry levy, or do we just want a second unit of scouts? Because if we're going to be fighting,
Strash's playstyle says more scouts, please. But
well, and like if we're going to be fighting through the corridors of a keep, like murdering guards, hopefully half aware, that's not infantry. Like that sounds like ambushing targets.
that is absolutely a type of thing. Now, Luke, we had a different conversation casually, so maybe now it's time to have it officially. Which is there a way to add a second type to a unit?
Yes.
Is it a long-term
but
project, or is it like...
It's
is
a
there a
long term,
mechanism?
but it's a long term
Okay,
project.
that's fine. All right. In which case, honestly, 12 people is probably enough. I would rather maybe start turning our scouts into some sort of, I don't know, scout cavalry, scout infantry, scout acolytes. Even
Yeah, I don't hate
scout acolytes is how you get ghost killing people,
Ghost killers.
wraith killers, technically in this world.
Yeah, but also like scout spies.
Ooh, that's strong. That's strong. I'm feeling it.
Keep talking.
You're talking about language here.
Digging that, yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
It'll sound great to me.
All right. How do you feel about that, Luke?
And you have your friend the spy.
I know,
That just makes
I
so
know.
much sense.
That's all I'm saying.
That
is,
feels like it really lines
do
up.
you want to give me this unit so that it's
Yes,
mine and they're no
please.
longer just plain archers? They're going to become fantasy ninja people, whatever.
Yeah, spy
thing.
scouts.
Yeah, spy scout acolytes. Something.
When Strash
Look,
gets
we'll
excited.
get to the acolyte bit in,
All right.
in the future.
Sorry, lots of hand waving going on.
One step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. All right, so how do we do this? Is this a long-term project?
Yeah, it's a long-term project.
Great.
It's a six-step clock.
Oh, it's already preset. Wonderful, great. Let's do that. So since I'm turning him into scouts, wait, I have somebody that can help. How about Isbale, my spy master friend?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna work on this long-term project. Long-term projects are what, skill-based?
Yeah, I believe.
So it's still
I
like
think
roll
it's
skill,
action. Yeah, roll a
add
relevant
segments
action.
as per blades.
I believe so.
Yeah, makes an action
Great.
roll.
In which case, I would like to roll sneak. I feel like that's the spy skill. Is that correct?
Cool.
All right. So I'm gonna roll sneak plus 1d, which is it's my for my friend. Unless she's not my friend yet, which may be true. Oh, she's not my friend yet. I'm just gonna have to roll prowl. Sorry, sneak is different game. Here we go. I'm just gonna roll risky, but it's basically a fortune roll, so we'll see how it goes. Crit.
Amazing.
Do we want to? If we spend a coin, we have spy
I-
scouts. Just so you know,
I like. It's very tempting.
Tara's like, okay, I'm gonna teach you some skills I learned in my time leading a mercenary company. Weren't you
Yeah,
a cavalry
and
person? Sure, but
Look, I had a lot of jobs.
I think it's one
It's
of
one of those
those.
things where, like, if we were playing Blades, I'd pull a face and I'd be like, the fiction of this feels weird. But like on the scale of this game, where like the expected time between scores is like
Months.
a month and a
Yeah.
half, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
train a bunch of people to be spies between scores. Whatever.
I think Artera's line on that is, when you lead a small but legendary mercenary company, your job isn't to be the best fighters, your job is to win. And in war, you grasp at any advantage that you can have. Over here, people will talk about knights and jousts and honor and codes of duels. But over there, the only thing that matters is results. There's reasons why keeps that couldn't fall otherwise fell to our band kind of thing. And here is what we're going to practice, which is infiltration. So, how do we?
There's this.
Did we establish how many coin we need in order to advance tier? That was the one question I wasn't sure on.
Oh, I think we're still unclear on whether it's 4 or 8.
Judd, did you talk to your friend?
I did not talk to my friend
Oh,
because
Judd,
I
you failed at
did not
homeworks.
write it down. I did my home. I did not do it.
All right.
Strap.
Well, let's assume that it's 4 for now. Are we going to get
Sure.
any money if we do the next job, the Lukes? Do you know?
Probably.
Probably. At least one coin?
Yeah.
So do we
Well,
want to spend a
probably-
coin and have spy scouts, or do we want to save that coin and just take the 5 ticks on the clock and be pretty happy about that?
I think you're just asking this question so you can say Spy Scouts out loud again because it's so cool. Everyone knows you want to spend that coin. Just spend it.
All right. All right.
Yes,
for it,
I
go for it.
agree. I think we should spend the coin.
All right. Done.
Cool.
All right. Let's rock and
Uh,
roll.
Yeah. So was there? I think we should name like the leader of this battalion who.
The head spy scout.
Yeah, somebody who just really
Wait, I mean, is it
brought
that,
it together. You know.
Is it that shady head god guy who helped?
Oh yeah,
Arteta,
Captain
like murk that dude.
No, Caffin. Yes, Sergeant Caffin. Yeah. Oh, he's totally the one.
He
Yeah.
seems like both a scout and a spy. Like,
Oh yeah, former Imperial soldier. Yeah, he's the one.
All right. Dope.
He's totally the one. There's this scene in Outlaw King where they're literally like standing around a horse talking about how to like bring down a knight, and like one person grabs the bridle, someone else comes up and grabs their leg, someone else stabs them, and then you pull them off and put knives in
And then
there.
you stab them a couple more times just in case.
Yeah, stabbing is
There's a
never
lot
the
of
wrong
stabbing.
answer, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of stabbing. Anyway, I picture it kind of like that, and I think I feel like a crit is just everything came together. Like they shut up and listened, and they asked good, but they were into it, and they asked good questions, and brought their hunting experience to bear in ways that actually worked rather than ways that would get them killed. And it just and then Catherine was just like the little imperial cherry on top who brought it all together. And yeah, Arter just whips these scouts into shape. So love it.
Gonna need some money for uniforms and specialized weapons.
Uniforms, by which you mean dark, inconspicuous looking clothes.
Right.
Well, it's less that. I mean, like, no, actually, it's not that. A lot of it has to do with leather and being able to fit like blades and other things in ways that A, are not going to be revealed, and B, are going to pass cursory inspection, right? So it's like they just have dark clothes. I'm like, what? I mean, everybody has dark clothes. That's not the point. The point is that they can look like a peasant and still carry a small arsenal underneath their clothes. That's far more important. Can't do the stabbing without a stabbing implement. So
yeah, and there's totally like a unit, image or heraldry that is like an eagle's feather with a lightning bolt in it. And I think the guy who put in the order was like, I wanted the lightning bolt crossed with the feather, and they were like, it looks cool. And he's like, but it would have been better crossed. Like, no, it actually looks kind of cool in the feather. It's kind of neat.
like you have the what is it, the little like bone feather bit actually like forms the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pinion.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, love it. Cool. So yeah, you guys are taking down the
Dagger Keep, right?
yeah,
That was the
yeah,
plan?
the keep of House Sagane.
So
They've got like a little fort out in the hills, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, which means
I think
probably Judd. I would offer. This sounds like we're trying to weaken a faction
I can dig that. Sure,
by like taking their shit.
sounds good. Sounds good. And I think in the fiction, in the first game, we have established that Isbel knows who is the Imperial spy who was working with Drozdon, knows a secret way in, like a secret Imperial tunnel of some kind. And I totally haven't been daydreaming about the backstory of this tunnel. So don't ask. Why would you even ask that? I can't tell you. It's a setting secret.
Okay.
Amazing.
Just don't ask. I'm sick of not talking about it or talking or something. Anyway, yeah. So is that? Do we want to make? Do we want to just do like infiltration and that's the point of entry?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's it. But we should do recon first because we are
Cool.
allowed to gather some information and
That
Do
is
some-
very true.
do
Yeah.
some legwork, as Hamish Cameron would call it.
Okay. I think Hamish Cameron borrowed that from a lot of cyberpunk novels and games.
I'm pretty sure that the.
Oh, I
spoiler
see. I see. That's how it works. My bad. Accepted.
It's like Vincent invented the word history when Apocalypse World was published.
Yes. Fantastic. All right. Don't make me snort my tea, please.
And before Apocalypse World, no one asked each other questions at the table too. We just said declarative statements at each other back and forth all night. It was tiring. It was exhausting.
No one understood. No one understood the idea of playing to find out. You always
This
had
is
everything
said-
pre-planned. It was like
This is said with the greatest of love. We all love Vincent and Meg, and we're
God.
goof.
Shout
we
the
are-
fuck out to Vincent and Meg.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'd like to
just in case-
dedicate this episode to Vincent and Meg.
Absolutely.
So good.
They are fantastic.
Uh,
So Awesome. Yeah. Who wants to recon? What are you reconning? What are you doing?
I have a recon.
Yeah.
And this is not a gather info recon. This is a like setup action recon.
Okay.
Because I think we kind of know, not everything, but I think we kind of know enough. And I think Aaron has a slight personal pragmatic concern, which is that obviously he's going to come along on this job. He doesn't know how to fight. He's a priest. And he's a little bit concerned that he might get stabbed. And so, like as one
That's a
worries
reasonable
about.
concern. That's a reasonable concern.
And so he figures that the best thing he can do is try and set himself up some kind of like advanced religious immunity from stabbing. Which is to say, I think like the couple of weeks before the job, Aaron starts attending the church nearest to the Dagger Keep.
Yeah. I think there's like a little shrine in their feast hall, and they had and there's an old priest who lives there, and they like move the benches a certain way and around the shrine of the God of Paths. And yeah, I mean, because I think it's a tiny little keep in the hills, right? So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and like Aaron goes to like 5 or 6 services, and like, like make some inroads with the local priest, so that like when people are called upon to do readings from the Book of Paths, Aaron is sometimes picked. And like basically, Judd, what I would like to do, and like you tell me if this is a clock that I get to start working on now, or if I can just do this in one action roll.
Yeah.
I would basically like to make sure that all of the soldiers in the keep recognize me as a priest.
Cool. Love it.
And like respect my status as a priest, such that they are less likely to try and put a knife in me, because that's not the done thing,
Yeah. That
you don't just stab a priest.
That's probably hopefully.
Hey, look, some people it might not work on, but like at least most of them.
I love it. Make a roll and let's see how effective this was. And then, if you want to give a short sermon, I would love to hear what passage Oren like offers to the.
You just had to spring it on me. Oh fuck.
Yeah. I mean, literally.
Let's do the roll first.
Yeah. And we can totally wait. Like I can do the recons with the other characters, and we can come back to you. I realize I'm putting you horribly on the spot.
Luke, I know that as a player, you want your character present to be able to lend stress and interact, which of course we can sneak in via flashbacks and whatnot. But if you're like, I'm coming, our terror's just like, what? No. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you go on this?
Yeah, and I think Aaron's answer is that like, unless the plan is to murder every person in the keep.
No. The like, guards on the Imperial guards are perfectly safe.
It's not even the Imperial, like the civilians who live there, the members of the family who aren't a fighting age. Like someone is going to need to be there to help like calm down civilians and like direct them out of the way. And also with all those people dying, someone is going to have to be around to like keep the wraiths from waking up early. Which like in the, we haven't got to it yet because we haven't done anything on this scale, but when like in full scale battles, there's even a clock that's like the don't let wraiths just form en masse all over the battlefield clock. And so I think, Aaron's argument is basically like, I will be there to lend support. I don't intend to get in a fight, but like, I'll be good and hang back. I promise.
And if Kale is privy to that conversation, I think she, oh God, I hate it and love it because like I really want to be best friends with Altair.
No, it's fine.
But I think like Kale would say, I think she'd check Altair and be like, I think you need to reassess the way that you perceive Brother Arn. I saw him on the night of no. Yeah, I saw him on the night of no moon. He saved my life. while everything was burning down, and he did not flinch. He didn't.
Kale doesn't blink,
Blink an
turns
eye.
around and draws a sword and goes, Orin, what's your weapon? Let's assess.
Oh, love it. Love
Very
this so
good.
much.
Very good. This is the bit where, like, give me a moment. I need to think about this. I like honestly. I think like you draw your weapon and there's like a moment of like, oh wait, like okay, like this is, you know, we're doing this, and then he like throws himself backwards on the ground like in surrender posture, and then there is a beat, and then a handful of dirt comes up in your face.
Oh, all right. I mean, we can.
Because like getting on the ground was just pretext, right? Like
I mean, are we skirmishing here? Like, is this happening?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I
Artera's
think
just
it's
trying to make a point. I think Artera's
Yeah, no.
just like, Kale, your beliefs are fine, but when you go to battle, you go to friggin' battle. You don't bring civilians into battle. And Brother Orin's like, hey, I'm sneaky. I can do this thing. And like, I don't know. Can you take a knight with a handful of dirt? Maybe. I could roll bad.
I think if you said it to Kale, Kale is like so pissed, but doesn't say anything because she knows you're right. Like, and just sort of smolders, and like bites her tongue, and yeah.
How does this end, Luke? You can narrate a beat or two. I'm pretty flexible here. I'm not. My point was that Artera is just like, there is a time for talking and diplomacy, which is frequently. But when you are ready for battle, it is not the time for talking and diplomacy. You don't bring civvies into the mix.
yeah, and I think Aaron's point chiefly is that like if we were going onto a battlefield, that's probably true, but like we are going into a situation where there will be civilians already, and the last thing we need is for those civilians to panic and get themselves killed, and then we get the blame for it. And so like, you know, like we don't want you all to be distracted calming down the chambermaids.
We don't need to calm them. They can run screaming for all I care.
So I think like Cathan is watching this and he's like eating an apple. And I think you guys are in the practice yard,
Sure.
which has stopped, right? Because like you drew a sword on a priest. And,
Oh yeah, I surely did. Artera is just like, yeah, we're doing this. So go on.
yeah, I think Cathan. What do they call you, Artera? Do they call you Captain? Do they call you?
The Hawk.
Yeah. Hawk is probably good. Go on. You can give any title is fine. Artera isn't too specific
yeah.
on structure, right? Like he's not trying to form this into a military structure. He's making it more like a guerrilla company than like a proper army.
Yeah, he then he just says Artera. He says Artera, we might want someone who can hold back wraiths, so that that little stone keep in the hills doesn't become a wraith infestation. So that it can become something your queen can use.
I think Artera just like gives him a look, and he says, "If you have a problem with that, then you just bring silver." And he just like puts the sword in the scabbard, but doesn't like keep up the whole pressure, right? Like he's just like, what he's effectively saying is like, fine, okay.
Yeah.
If you folks are too scared
I
to
don't
fight
like
wraiths,
it.
we can bring a priest. But you know, if it was up to me, I would test myself.
Oof.
But Artera is weird about wraiths. He's got a special hate on for them in a way that most normal, intelligent individuals will happily let a priest pray them away.
He's got an attitude.
No, he's got a lot of wraith marks on him, actually.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Okay, Judd, I'm gonna make a wild case here. I think that the action that Brother Arn is taking is pray.
Yeah.
What is my position and effect?
Is there a position and effect for recon rolls? I mean, I
There
thought.
is, yes, which
Okay.
is kind of like, which is like, not to keep coming back to the sprawl, but like
Yeah.
the vibe to me is that Recon is intended in this game to work a little bit like the way that legwork in the sprawl is like a bit of a push your luck game.
Got
Of
it.
like, if it goes well, great, like you can set yourself up for success, but like
Yeah,
if it goes badly, you can fuck
I
yourself
think it's
later.
I think it's controlled standard.
Awesome.
And like only standard because, I mean, you're new. They're a little standoffish.
Yeah, that makes sense. Judd, if I wear my fine vestments, will that take me up to great effect?
No.
Actually, no, you know what? Let's do one better. If I bring them a fine gift, Judd.
Yes, that will make it a great effect. What is the
Yeah.
gift?
I think part of what church looks like in the religion of the God of Paths
Yeah.
is there is like words. There's like a potluck kind of thing that happens like after the service / as the back half of the service. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of an extension of the religious occasion.
Okay.
And yeah, I just think like Brother Oren brings
Really
like
good eats.
he brings some mulled wine. And it's
Nice.
like it's very nice wine from the southern markets, and it's a bunch of like cool wild herbs that he like, you know, remembers from like, you know, his wanderings back over the sea that he's like mulled in it.
Yeah. Love it.
And it
Love it.
tastes like blackberries and like caramelized sugar and like the smoke that curled over the Lolaire Keep on the night of no moon.
Ooh, wow.
It tastes like.
Look, bringing the delicious.
I didn't read
Well-
all those fucking Redwall books as a child for nothing.
That's funny. I was literally thinking about how in Redwall they clearly are substituting food for sex, right? Like they want like a sensual experience. And so it's just like we'll describe food because we're not gonna make
I think I
Children's
also
books
read-
get weird.
yeah.
I think I also read an interview with Brian Jake where he was like, look, in the 40s growing up, like we were all half starved in Britain like all the time. And I'd read these books and they wouldn't describe the food. And I'd be like, stop cock teasing me. Like I might not be able to eat good food, but describe the food, damn it.
Love it. Cool.
Oh, beautiful. Spectacular. How we do? Not
Roll
so
that
good.
shit. What's going on? Okay.
It's 2 and a 3.
Okay.
Ah, well.
Yeah, let's look at that controlled effect, right? So we've got some choices. What were you talking about?
Great question.
So this is where we point out, Judd, if there are clocks for people in the keep, this is the time to fill them.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
per the
Oh,
rules.
totally. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking
Yeah.
for the.
It's on page
Roll.
14, Judd.
Thank you.
Level 1 harm, 1 tick on a threat clock, a minor complication, you're put in a risky position.
Yeah.
I think that this probably this may make the engagement roll harder, or it could and remember you can pick multiples of these.
Right.
You could easily put like ticks on alert clocks. The reason for that is if Brother Orin is drawing attention to himself, then somebody may put 2 and 2 together. Like we
Cool.
are at this point not an unknown quantity in the Sedgelands, and people may realize that something's up, so people could be more prepared for the whole situation.
Love it. And yeah, I think something about you showing up right now just puts puts Lady Sienna Segane on fucking edge, and there's like a 6-count clock for their alarm bells going off, and so what that would be 2 of them, right?
It'd be one because it was
One for controlled. Yeah, one.
Yeah.
One is off. So, yeah, and I think that manifests as her like walking up to you after the during the potluck and saying thank you for the mulled wine. It's a fine gift you brought here to us today.
Yeah. Let me just take a moment and think about this sermon. What did I talk about?
Yeah.
I think
and again you don't have to deliver the sermon because you certainly
no, of course.
yeah you could just say like, oh, I talked about like this one passage, blah 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 blah,
so on and so forth. Yeah,
It's like the fork at the table of the hearth. There are forks in the road kind of thing. And
yeah.
I think Brother Oren. I think like he was playing to his audience, right? I think it was a sermon for soldiers and for guards, and so I think it was like about. I think it was about like what happens to us after we die. And like drawing on some stuff that I don't think Oren genuinely believes. I think it's part of the doctrine of the God of Paths, not the doctrine of the God of Gates and Ways. So it's like a local belief, but the idea that like
local meaning
like
national.
Norse, like with the Norse, like if you die like a brave death, a hero's death, a warrior's death, and a quote unquote honorable death in battle, like you're guaranteed to like not become a wraith and like yada yada yada, and a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And the path before you will be smooth and clear. Blah, blah, blah. I think it was one of those.
Yeah. She Sienna comes up to you.
But then like these are all mercenaries who don't really buy into the honor thing anyway, which is probably the misjudgment.
Right.
That he made, right? Like
yeah, and she says, this mulled wine is wonderful. The kitchen's put in an order for some, but something must be slow in the southern markets. It's hasn't gotten here yet. Have you been down by the markets lately?
Spectacular. Yeah, he just like shrugs and like smiles a very guileless smile apparently, and says, my lady, I'm just a priest. I wouldn't know much of these things.
Of course.
My concern is with the road and those who walk it, not with the merchants who man the inns beside it. People need to stop every now and then to eat and drink. I understand that, but it's not a priest's business to meddle.
Of course. Are you walking back to town? It's a long walk through the hills.
A long walk, but a pleasant one. You live in such beautiful surroundings.
Thank you. Have a safe walk, Father.
Thank you.
And
I think he doesn't go back to town the way that he came.
In case. Yeah, and I think like you literally see her like pointing you out to guards. Yeah. Cool. Kale, what are you up to? Are you doing any recon?
Yeah, I was wondering, because I would love to talk to Fergus, because I haven't talked to Fergus since he tried to kill me.
Right.
Oh, snap! This should be a great scene.
But also, I think I am hoping it would make sense for Fergus to either have someone in his employ or someone he used to have his employ who's like a servant or someone who would like know the ins and outs of like the place that we're trying to get into. So like maybe he could either create an opportunity or, give us some intel on like a good way in, that kind of thing. That's my angle anyway.
Okay. So I feel like you already have a good way in. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out what do you need from Fergus, I guess, is the question, other than a cool scene.
Yeah, it's what I really want. I guess maybe it could sort of be like a flashback opportunity where if we need to
Oh,
have
yeah.
like a secret passage or something.
Oh,
or
cool.
Somebody who
Yeah.
can help us out in a pinch.
Yeah.
On
Oh,
this
cool.
line.
Cool. Yeah, that's great.
Old
That's
one.
yeah. I thought Fergus was getting out of town. Did he just not go that far?
Oh yeah. Maybe it's catching him on while he's about to abscond or something. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, you catch up to him on the road.
Awesome. I guess we haven't really talked since then. I guess like
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, you have not.
Yeah, totally. In that case, yeah, I totally. If he's leaving town, I totally want to cut him off like on my horse or something, and like be standing in the middle of the road, like as his car approaches, and his horse is like, like
Yeah.
yeah.
He looks terrified, and he says, your Grace, why are you out on the road alone?
And I think she very calmly like dismounts from like her horse and like sort of thuds into the dirt like under her boots, and starts like striding toward Fergus. And I think she says, "Well, I never got an opportunity to say goodbye, Fergus."
I'm sorry. I don't want to be in the middle of this. I saw a way out and I took it. It wasn't noble. It wasn't right. I was
I think
desperate.
she like puts her hand up while he's doing this to be like, you
Yeah.
don't need to give me the diatribe.
Yeah.
And she says like, I think she says like, Fergus, I forgive you. Life is too bitter to, on top of that, swallow the poison of resentment. I've known you for a long time. We may not have been in touch throughout the years we've known each other, but I understand exactly what you did and why you did it, and I don't blame you. I perhaps would have done the exact same thing if I were in your shoes. These are really rough times. And
He starts crying, and I think there is a flashback to the to what are we calling the night?
the night
The Night of
moon,
Fire?
yeah.
The Night of No
Fire
Moon. Yeah, the Night of No Moon, the Night of Fire, and we hear a knock on a side entrance to your parents' castle, and again the only colors are like are white and red, and Fergus is wearing red gloves right now, and you see a red gloved hand take the bar off of that door and let in Maddox killers.
Oh my god. So good.
And you start saying like I blah blah blah, and like he just like starts breaking down, and like yeah, he's a mess.
I think like Kale totally attributes that to just like when he set like
Yeah.
up to die in the middle of the night.
Yeah. That's a reasonable thing to very reasonable.
I know what's obviously going on here. He's confessing his crime.
Yeah. And I think like Kale tries for like 3 beats to not cry as well, and I think she can't take it anymore at that point. And I think we get that sort of callback hug where like they first like hugged immediately upon seeing each other. And I think she says like I ask this not to leverage regret or leverage shame or guilt or whatever you're feeling in this time. I'm asking you this because I consider you a dear friend. And I think like we can sort of like yeah, maybe like
No, I
Oh,
want
yeah,
one
yeah.
other thing. I want one other thing before we fade. And like when you hug him, you see him like sigh, and you think like, oh wow, he really needed this. And then when you back away from him, you realize you've entirely misjudged. And when you hugged him, he thought you were going to kill him. And so when you step back, he's kind of like, did I not feel it? Like, what's happening? And he says, how are you going to let me live? How are you going to let me walk away after letting people in who are going to kill you?
And I think Kale smirks a bit at that and says, you know, perhaps I've been spending too much time with Brother Arndt, but. And I think she shakes her head. I think she's honestly a bit of a loss for why she doesn't like feel a need to like exact revenge in this moment. And, like, take him down. And shrugs, is like, I don't know. I like to think that there are many paths that we can take, and I don't think this is the end of the road for you. I think there are ways that you can continue living. And
yeah, he falls to his knees and says, like, he takes your hand and like puts it to his head and says, I hope that mercy will lead you to the throne. But if I'm being honest, I think the God of paths and ways have forsaken us. I think the reason why he doesn't guide us into the heavens anymore is because he is done with us, and we are a befouled creation, and I hope your way is right.
I hope so.
Yeah. No, you go.
I hope so too, and you know, I hope that if ever I find myself in a situation with your knife at my throat, I wouldn't blame you, for I would have just misjudged you, and that is my fault. But that too that too is a possibility. But
cool, and we can cut there, and you can use that as like flashback fodder.
Can I ask one question before we cut?
Yeah.
Because I think, like, I don't think Fergus was just asking that question of Kale. I think, like, that was a proxy for some other people who Fergus also perhaps wishes he had a chance to ask that question of. And so, like, right. I'm curious, Kale, like, which of your, what feature of, like, one of your parents does he just, like, see, like, incredibly strongly in you as we, like, leave off on this shot?
Oh, good question.
That's a beautiful question.
I think, let's say Kale has her hair tied up in this moment, and then as she turns, like, in whatever light we're in right now, whether it's, like, afternoon or evening or something, like, the light just catches the birthmark on the back of her neck. We sort of, get that sort of exposure of skin, and then, like, the mark is, like, she turns to leave, and get on her horse and, like, go back to town.
Cool. Love it. Arter.
No, I'm good. I don't need to do anything. I'm ready.
Cool.
You trained some scouts to be
I did.
spies.
That was the majority of my work. Is I've talked to Isbael. I've gotten them as ready as I need to get. I think if there is a scene, it's Arter using ashes and chalk to create face paint and just put on that, like. I guess I will be like a white ninja, like in the sense that, like, I have like the snow kind of gear where even though I'm going for stealth, I'm still pushing the boundaries of believability here.
You're getting your murder suit on.
Yeah, I'm getting it on. I mean, this is not. I don't think that there's anything left to say about this job. I know all the details that I need to know. We're good to go.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome.
Let's plan a sortie.
Let's do this shit.
So, like, this is clearly an infiltration.
Yep.
I think we've established that on, like, multiple levels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sortie objective is a little bit muddy. Largely because the keep isn't a holding mechanically. like I think this defaults to weaken faction.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a
That sounds good
little
to
bit
me.
weird because like there isn't exactly a faction clock that we're like eager to stop. But like it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're taking out a faction leader, is that a thing?
Not exactly. But like I guess yeah, like that feels like a thing we could get out of a weakened faction move. Just like cut the head off the snake.
Yeah.
Let's actually talk about this. Isn't this seizing the town? Because like the thing that controls the town is this fort and this person, right? If we take them out, technically the town is ours.
Oh, I dig that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
This could
yeah.
be. This is seizing Bellheather.
Yeah.
Yep, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yep,
Um,
that is easy and I'm happy with that.
Cool.
All right, engagement roll.
Yeah.
1 die. Sheer luck. I would say this is a fairly bold and daring approach.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we're attacking them in their house. You know, not a lot of hedging.
Sure.
We are hitting the target where they are weakest, I think, because we have knowledge of like a way in and all that.
They're stronger
and-
faction and they're suspicious though.
Yeah, right. And also we get +1 die to infiltration sorties because of
Right.
Droskin's bandits.
Amazing.
We hold the bandit hideout.
Sweet.
So we're at 4. And then yeah, specific consequences from recon actions. That sounds like a -1. And then yeah, do we have any enemies or rivals that are relevant?
Nope. Not yet.
I don't think my librarian enemy is going to be particularly problematic on this job.
He is not.
The day will come.
Oh yes. I will.
But yeah,
I will jump on
are
that day with both feet.
they higher tier than us? What tier is?
Yeah, they are. I think
Yeah,
there's
they
two.
are. They're 1 tier higher. All right, so 2 dice.
All right. I'm gonna let it fly.
Captain.
Here we go. Oh wait.
I go to my breath again.
Sorry, I stopped at 2 dice 4, so risky situation. I stopped at 2 dice and I was like, roll! And it was like, please enter the name of this fortune roll. I was like, oh. Go! So,
Cool.
Part of me is like, damn, I wanted it to be desperate. I want to get that XP.
they're all good. They're all good. There are no bad
Plenty of
engagement
room for
rolls.
it to-
Oh,
Plenty
yeah,
of
good,
room for it
good.
to get desperate.
I'm sure there'd be opportunities to push it there too.
Exactly.
Oh no.
So, Judd,
Cool.
I wonder what this entranceway is like. Do you have any details for us?
Fine, Strash. Fine. I'll tell you.
Oh, Judd, let me offer you a gift, just very briefly.
Okay. Sure.
How's this?
I think in light of the way that things went and the plan that we knew we were going to have, I am happy to volunteer. I think that the big day is church day, right? Like it's whatever day of the week. I haven't figured out yet how that works, but I think it's a church day, and I think Oren once again comes for the service, knowing that this means that the guards will mostly be focused on wherever he is.
Cool.
And so I think he is just like playing like a slight diversion, wandering around in the main courtyard so that no one is paying attention to like, you know, the small weakness in the back wall or wherever the fuck it is we're getting in through.
Yeah, no, I think there is Isbel says when this kingdom was brought into the empire, the Empress Anastasia visited the Sedglans and fell in love with the queen of the Sedglans. And this was her keep, and she would sneak in so none would know that she favored the queen over the others in this kingdom. And this tunnel was built then, and when I was sent here, I did a little research on the Sedglins and found this in an old scroll, and here we are. And I think she like takes you to a standing stone, and one of the standing stones, has like a has like you can kind of move it, and you can kind of walk on down into this tunnel that
I just want you to know that I've got Secret Tunnel through the mountain from Avatar playing in my head right now.
Tunnel.
don't
Through
let the
the
rates get you
mountain.
down. Our tip.
Secret tunnel. Yeah.
Aaron,
Yes.
Aaron is singing in the courtyard. No, that's
Yeah.
that's not actually happening.
All good.
Someone makes a fan vid, like after the episode ends.
Yeah, and the tunnel comes up. And I said there was a shrine to the god of paths and ways, and I think the tunnel comes up right behind it. And so there's like this kind of thin curtain, and you can hear the priest giving a sermon, and you're all climbing up and into this little holy nook on church day, as on temple day, as Oren has given us. And here we are. Yeah.
All right.
What is the first thing you do?
I
It's
mean,
every 4 days.
I've every
Because there
arrow
are
we've got
4
needs to fly at what's her name? The lady in charge. What was talking to her?
game.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's a former mercenary captain.
Yep.
You knew her.
I think it's one of those things. If we're doing ambushes, then that's the play, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't love this plan actually. I'm not sure because like let me clarify something. Are there non-soldiers in this sermon?
Well, no. So sorry, just to pitch more clearly for Judd. Like my
Yeah.
vision is it's church day and the sermon is over.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Like it is now evening of a day when there was a sermon.
Oh,
but
got
Aaron
it.
Aaron has just like made himself welcome in the courtyard, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
you're serving the
there's-
potluck. You're walking amongst the people. You're talking to folks.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
like even as that winds down, Aaron just like finds a spot in the courtyard and like sits down with every intention of like spending the night here, I guess. So that
Yeah.
they will be like
Cool.
maximum eyes on me and minimum eyes on anywhere else.
So Judd, risky situation. I think what we're doing is we're just infiltrating the keep, right? Like our job is
Yeah.
to get to the lady and apply stabbing. Like this is not super complicated.
Yeah.
So it's mostly just, are these people still drunk on wine or tired and kind of lolling about, not paying attention? The guards I'm talking about, because it was feast day. In which case, we'll sneak past the ones we can sneak past, and we'll stab the ones that we can't sneak past, and just sort of like move like ghosts through the keep until we get to the area that we're supposed to be. Because in any infiltration, you never assume that you're going to get to the target and kill them and leave, in perfect silence. That's virtually impossible. You just hope to get as far as you can so that the stabbing is a much more plausible outcome.
Got it. So I've got the former 6-count clock alarm. There's 1 tick on it, and then I've got a 4-count clock. Find Cyan. I'm only making it 4 because I think this is a tiny, ancient castle, right? Like the shitty thing about this is yes, the person who lived here called herself the Queen of the Sedglins, but it's really ancient.
Queen in
And-
title.
The
Yeah.
petty queen of the
Yeah.
Sedglins.
Yes. When you play the Crusader Kings 3 hack, this would be the petty queen of the Sedglins. Absolutely, yes.
It's
All
not
right.
even a duchy, right? It's just whatever the fuck the next thing down is.
So
Yeah.
Judd, give me some idea here. Am I rolling on a get to the queen clock versus the
Yeah.
alarm clock, or like what's the?
Yeah. That's what I imagine. I mean, it's find CN before the alarm can go off. Explain to me what you're doing. So you guys are Kale. Are you staying with Artair? Are the two of you leading different bands? Is it you? Is it is it like Artair in charge of a group of three, Kale in charge of a group of three, Catherine in charge of a group of three, and Isabel in charge of a group of three? Like, is that kind of the vibe? And you're kind of like just ghosting through the keep and trying to find your way? Is that
That's a good question. I'll also defer to Strash, who knows all the blade stuff. Would it be better to stick together for like group actions, or
Yeah.
would it be better to like split up for?
Also, my stress seems really, really high. I'm wondering if did we do a proper
You
downtime
had
last
a really
time?
bad. You had a really bad luck.
Did I?
Yeah, I
Okay.
roll pretty bad.
That's
too.
my memory. I think we all had pretty bad luck on stress.
got it?
All
Were
right.
we just already really stressed? I don't remember. It wasn't ideal.
That's
Prash,
fair.
is that enough of a picture for you? Do you
Yeah,
need
it's
more?
totally fine.
What do you-
Kale, you can totally be
We'll
with
figure
me. I generally, although,
I
how's
can
your
also give
stress? Let's double check
Well,
here.
we may be better sticking together mechanically, just
Yeah.
because I can give you free assists.
I'm totally down with
Oh
that.
yeah, nice.
So yeah, that's.
Cool. All right. So shall I sneak and clear the path, and then the people
Yeah.
follow behind? Is that the plan here, Judd?
Yeah.
All right, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Love it.
Cool. Kale, you want to toss me that assist?
Heck yeah.
Or is that a group action, Strash?
If it's a group action, Kale cannot participate in order to land assists. Otherwise,
That is true, but you do also get the dice from the levy.
oh, I do.
Sneaking. I mean, like, they are both spies and scouts. I would dare
many-
to venture
How many dice did
that-
they roll as a unit?
equal to their quality, so it'll only be the one.
Yeah.
But yeah, traveling unseen is one of their things.
Cool. With one die traveling unseen, I think I'm better off clearing the path for them.
Cool.
We
Sounds
could
good.
also. I don't know. We can do this. I was like, alternatively, I could assist you by like sort of making noise, like in another part of the castle and drawing people away.
4. So I succeed, but there's a cost. Judd, tell me what the cost is.
I think you kill a guard and you kill a guard and the wraith comes way faster than any guard that any wraith should. Like it is like you kill him, the knife comes out, and like you literally watch it leave his body.
Awesome. I'd like to resist that.
Cool.
I resist that by burying some silver in him. Like
Sounds good.
I think that I just kill him and I turn around, and like as I feel the quivering, I turn around, and as the color bleaches out of everything but me because I'm already only black and white, I just pull out the like silver knife and just stab the wraith as it's
They're
coming
in the
out half a
same
dozen
hole,
times.
like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
if that's what that's how you
Yeah.
want to play Ghost to Ghost.
And I think like the way the ghost comes out is like it doesn't come out like it comes out facing you, right? So like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so like the body is falling and then
Oh, at the back of its head or something.
Yeah, and then like the back of its head comes out the front of its face, and like the face is
Very cool.
looking at its murderer. Yeah,
Awesome.
and yeah.
Here we
And
go.
Go.
One stress.
Cool. Yeah. Got it.
And it's also nice because it's silent because wraiths eat noise. So
Right. And
I take a moment and like do that thing where I just like bury the knife and I just like look at the rest of the unit like this is how you handle wraiths, right? And then I just drop it like I just drag the body behind like a curtain or whatever the heck, like put it in an alcove. I don't know.
tapestry.
in a closet.
Tapestry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beneath the ottoman.
Yeah. Cool. And is that 2 ticks on the find CN of Segal?
Yes, and also whatever the consequence is. Well, actually, you gave me a fictional consequence. I just dealt with it.
Yeah. Right.
That was a
Cool.
complication.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good here. So how far? So it's 2 out of
2 out of 4.
4. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Shall we do one more roll, dear cousin? Do you have how many assists do you have? Let me just ask.
I got the two for free.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can
so
again
is
for free.
can I steal the second one here
Oh.
as well?
I think so. Yeah, feels like a good place to use it.
All right, cool. We're doing that. Did I also mark XP last time? This sheet definitely seems out of sync. It's fine. Let's do it. One more time. Is it still risky, Judd? I assume it is.
Yeah.
5. Same result.
Cool. So
We may find her, but there may just be a complication.
yeah, I think the complication is that you find her in the stables with 5 of her soldiers, and they are like brushing down their war horses and chatting, and weapons are near at hand, and like you hear what she says is, we're in the middle of nowhere. I should just stab that priest right in the face. He's trouble. The southern markets, we haven't gotten anything from the sheriff of the southern markets in weeks. He's linked to it. I can feel it. I'm feeling stabby. And like her soldiers kind of chuckle and they're like, you can't just, you're a lady now. You're not a mercenary captain. You can't go stabbing priests in the face anymore. It's not proper. And like, one of the guys says that, and then everyone else laughs. Like, yeah, right. It's not proper. Like, we will totally face that. And yeah, I think that's what you hear as like your crew kind of like gets into position and waits for. I think they're waiting for your.
So let's talk about this as players for a second. I'm sorry, I'm hogging the spotlight a lot here. But is it more fun if we just make a roll? Like the smart thing would be just to let loose fly arrows and then mop up, right? But I know this woman, right? Would it be more fun to have banter and talk here for a second, or actually the smartest thing would be to cause the horses to panic and give them something else to think about, but Artair would never hurt a horse. It's rule 1. We do not hurt animals. So only people are untrustworthy.
Cool.
I do want to note, Strash.
Yeah.
Archers are specifically a separate kind of levy, and I think the mechanical implication there is that if you're a bunch of scouts and you want to do violence, you have to get in close. You can't do that.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's good.
thing.
Let's do this. Yeah, I think Artair.
So it's like rolling with knives and just like.
Actually, I think he just steps right out of the shadows, right? Like, I know that they're surrounded, and I know that this is about to turn real fast, but I only show myself. I don't show the rest of the unit. So, Kale, I assume that you're either in charge or getting in position with the rest of the people, right? Like, there's a dozen people coming in through the shadows, but I think Artair, like, steps out, and, what was her name again?
Sienna.
Oh,
Sienna.
Yeah.
Or Sien? I think he just steps out and you know they're laughing. They're like, "You're a lady now. You can't possibly do that." And you know, I join in the laughter and then step out of the shadows, and I'm like, you can try to put the lady in the mercenary, I say you can try to put the noble in mercenary, but you can't take the merc out of the noble." And I just kind of grin, standing there in like my chalk white outfit with the face paint on, probably a spatter of blood in several places. So I'm just like white, red, and black, just like the night of no moon, right? And I just kind of chuckle and I look at them and I'm like,
She says, "I hate being right," and then she jumps on her horse. Like bareback and kicks it towards you. Like she's gonna try to run you over.
Okay, cool.
Actually, let's John Harper this shit. She gets on her warhorse and runs you over, leaving you dead and broken.
Amazing. Except nope. Fortunately, my weapon of choice is a fine chain that I use, and I think it's just one of those moments where I step sideways and instead pull her off the horse by like looping it around her neck. If you want, we can do this as a resistance. Don't get rolled by the horse, or we can do this as a skirmish and maybe make it desperate because she's like horseback has higher tier. Is that?
Yeah, I like that. Desperate standard, I think.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love too that like that shot is definitely a visual callback to the shot 10 minutes earlier in the training montage where we literally watched Artair teach the levy how to get people down off horseback.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think we actually like maybe it's just an intercut shot where like like she jumps up on the horse and then it switches and Artair's like, so when you're facing a mounted opponent. And then like you're seeing the person coming up around the side to do the specific things and like we're all like snapping into it as he's explaining each of the moves.
It's like almost weirdly like the narrated fight scenes in the 2009 Sherlock Holmes film with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Like it's not stylistically the same thing, but like it's a very similar effect.
Like beat for beat, yeah. All right, cool. Bonus dice one I pushed. Kale, do you wish to assist? I think now you're into actual stress cost.
Yeah, heck yeah, I'll totally like drop that assist there.
What does your assist look like, yeah?
So
are you like leading the stabbing of the other folks?
Yeah, I think that feels appropriate. I think like in Kale's mind, like she would really love to stab Siennis again, but I like that Altair gets that.
Well, I'm gonna yank her off the horse and pin her. I mean, like if you want to do it cinematically afterwards, that's fine.
Yeah, I think like Kale is taking care of like the other opponents we have in our way. other obstacles.
Cool. So you're giving me room to work. Is that how you?
Yeah, totally.
Are you willing to spend a stress to assist?
Oh heck yeah, I already did.
All right, then let's do it. 5. So I do it, but I take some sort of massive badness.
Yeah.
Or several less massive badnesses, depending.
No, it can be multiple massive badnesses, but there is no other option on desperate. There is no lesser.
Yeah, I think like you both hit each other kind of at the same time, and her head snaps. She falls off the horse, ugly. You kind of got her, but the horse also is a war horse, and its chest hits you. I think the other thing to notice and take a moment to appreciate is how stone cold these war horses are. Like, people are being killed all around them, and like none of them are even nickering. Like they're just like, yeah, I'd like an apple. Like, they just are out of fucks. But yeah, I think that this horse hits you like a Honda.
Awesome.
A brick shit house is what you'd say in
Yes.
the
Like a wombat.
Yeah. Or a drop bear.
I cannot test this down, or I'm gonna scar. Which is fine. Do you get XP for? I don't think you do.
Can I resist it on behalf of people in Ribble Crown? Or
You can take the harm onto yourself and then attempt to test it down. But I think I can. I think I can. I'll just take it. It's fine. Judd, I take level 3 harm. What does that look like?
Queen Kale, do you want to let that happen? Do you want to just?
No, you can't take this from me. This is
No, you
literally
can't?
my gig.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it's level 3 harm, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna mark armor to test it down. I feel like I could not have brought heavy armor along because of like the fiction, right? But I think I have leather armor and stuff, so I'm gonna test it down to level 2 harm.
Cool.
And I think it's I think actually I get to showcase like my horse handling, right? Like I take the hits and I still like calm it the F down and do not actually murderize the horse in return.
Oh, of course, yeah.
We go from like stove in ribs to just broken ribs, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, because -1 means that something is like broken ribs means that I would not be able to walk without assistance. Like that kind of damage is massive. So that's level 3 harm. I think what I am is just like bruised, battered, and bleeding. Like that feels fine to me.
Yeah.
It's just like
Cool. So, I want to cut to Brother Orin for just a second. Brother Orin, you're in the courtyard, and
I have a scheme, Judd.
hold on. Let me throw something
great.
at you.
Oh, fantastic.
Let me throw something at you. I gotcha.
Yeah, you give me a problem, and then I'll give you a scheme.
Cool. You're in the courtyard, and there are a bunch of folks with you, and Una Sagane, Sienna's daughter, who is a rambunctious, probably teenager, is practicing her dueling, probably with some Imperial soldiers from the vault in Belheather. And you're watching this, and like, you can tell me what you're thinking, but then you feel a chill in the air, and you're like, wraiths were just made. Like you can feel it. Like if you're not ready for it, or you're not really looking for it, you wouldn't have known. Or maybe someone really in tune might have known, but you know, like wraiths have been made right now. And what do you do?
So it's like, do I deal with the wraith problem, or do I like?
Well, I think I'm not telling you about that to say which do you do. What I'm telling you about that for is because if what is supposed to happen is happening, her parents are being killed.
Yeah.
So like, how are you dealing with this young lady
Judd,
who's here?
sometimes people's parents die.
I know. Thank you.
It happens.
I know.
I think she finishes her duel, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like, comes over to the side to like take a breather while like, like the next couple go at it. And I think Orin just like brings her a cup of water.
Yeah. And I think the guards are like packing up, and she goes, "You don't want to give another round?" And they're like, "No, we should get walking back. We don't want to spend the night. We have to get to the Imperial barracks, otherwise we get docked." And she says, "Suit yourselves. Be safe. May the God of Paths ward your way back." And they're like, "Thank you, Una. Your riposte is getting good. You're getting dangerous out there." She says, "Thanks, guys. You've been a big help." And she takes the water and says, "Thank you, Father. It's nice. It's nice to have you here. It's good, nice to have another voice on the pulpit. Our chaplain was my mother's war chaplain, and he got really wounded and can't really do what he used to do, and so this is his job now. And he's not the best orator in the world, and some of his views on the text are a little old-fashioned."
But still, I'm glad that he managed to find a path nonetheless. It was good of your mother.
Yeah, of course. You got to look after your own. He's like family.
Does she... What's my read here? Like, I think Orin is like... Orin is not really paying attention to the soldiers, like the 3 guards in the courtyard or whatever, because like he trusts in like the fact that he is in a conversation with her, like her authority hopefully will keep them away. So I think he's just like totally just like focusing in on like, actually, like, how do I feel about this young woman? Is there potential here? Is she going to be a problem?
Right.
Like,
Right.
What's the go?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to make a roll?
And so I think this is a study.
Yeah.
What is my position?
I'm going to say risky standard, because I feel like you're in this kind of charged situation. And
yeah, I like that. That's what I was expecting. Judd, I can always tell when someone is lying to me.
Yeah.
Does that take this up to great effect, maybe?
No,
Oh,
it does not.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. How much do I care about this going well?
You know what? I don't know why I said no. Yes, it does. Sure. Yeah, I
Actually,
like it.
Let me sweeten the pot here for you, John.
Yeah.
I think what Brother Aaron says is he's like, because she's like what, like 15, 16, 17?
Yeah.
That's the kind of vibe I'm getting.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I think he just like really like offhandedly asks. He's like, God, what's it called? He's like, you'll be coming of age next year, won't you? I've heard around the place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know yet what your plans are?
We're gonna see how a few things sort out in the Sedgelands, and then we'll figure it out.
Well, I offer only because I don't know what your local priest is talented with. They considered me a fair hand with the runes back where I was from. And I think he's offering her to like tell her future.
Oh, awesome.
Very cool.
Love it. I think she said I would love that. I would be honored.
Yeah, which lets me, so I'm going to mark my divining runes. And I think this sets up for like, because the beautiful thing about telling someone's future, as someone who like has done my fair share of tarot,
Yeah.
is like, because you have the pretext of the cards, you can say things like, he can be like, like I see in the runes, this rune, it means like great ambition and like,
Yeah.
perhaps a betrayal, and like you can say things like that to a noble without like with the pretext that stops you just getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
Especially because then whatever she says to me, I can tell if it's a lie.
Right.
And
Love
so
it.
this is the way that Brother Aaron reads people's minds. Like,
Yeah.
not literally, but
Yeah.
it's a very powerful trick.
Very cool.
Yeah, so let's see how this goes. I am going to push myself because I'm suddenly excited about this. Boom.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah. You get the feeling that this young lady is very ambitious and very pragmatic, and yeah.
How does she feel about her parents?
Yeah, and I think like
And I
we
think
haven't.
this is the bit where I'm just like all of a sudden like, oh God, how does this divining runes thing work? I think there is a cloth, and I think it's a standard part of like every priest's
Yeah.
priest gear, right?
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
the same way as you have a Bible and a crucifix. It's
Yeah.
a cloth, and it has like a crossroads, like
Yeah, it's got the two things
Painted-
with the little diamond shape in the middle. That's like the thing that they always put in the book when they talk about crossroads.
yeah. See, exactly. Strash knows how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there are set
Uh-oh.
meanings to
Hang on.
each of the like diagonal. To
Hold up.
Like each
We just-
corner.
Yeah.
One
we
second.
know.
One second.
We should be
We
fine.
just lost.
We may be scrambled a little, but it's all right. This may be.
We just lost Lauren.
Oh, Lauren's back.
We did it.
Yeah.
We
I
had
wasn't
Lauren.
expected.
Everyone's in the wrong place, but we can fix it during break.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Let's, I want to do this, and then I do want to do one scene with Kale, and then we'll go to break if that's okay.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm sorry. So you have this priestly cloth that you throw the runes on.
Yeah, and I think like each corner has like each corner
Hmm.
refers to like an area of your life, and each rune has like different
Love it.
meanings and the ways
Yeah.
that they like touch one another, and like there's special meaning for it, like yada yada. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think like the rune that has like a knife on it, like lands in the corner that is associated with like family life and like the domestic sphere. And Aaron kind of like hisses, he turns it over and he hisses a little and he's like, This is not so good a sign. The dagger can mean many things, but in the domestic sphere, unexpected death in the family, I'm afraid.
Awesome.
And
Cool.
so it's like who do her thoughts go to, right? Like who's
Yeah.
she concerned for immediately, and who isn't she, notably?
Yeah. And I think we have a weird flashback, right? We have a flashback to another family having their pivotal moment, right? And it is,
Mwah.
and it's Lady Sienna Segane getting the letter from Maddock saying, if you want a noble house, you know, take this keep in the Sedgelands from the former allies of Kale of the witch family, and it's yours. All you got to do is murder them and blot out their bloodline. And so like Sienna says, like, you know, she reads like the polite letter, and her husband says, what does that mean? And she says, it means if we destroy this family and blot their bloodline from the path, we get to have a noble house. And like the camera keeps turning, and you see Una there as like a 10-year-old. And the father looks nervous, and Sienna does not. And he says, we're not going to do it. She goes, of course we are. It's our shot. We can take that. We can take them. We're absolutely going to do it. That keep is ancient. It's practically a ruin. And he says, well, why is Maddock doing this? And he goes, he's blotting out some part of his family that acted against him. He wants the throne to himself. Doesn't want it left to his niece. And like her husband looks uncomfortable, and she says, Sienna, what would you do if we became nobles and someone killed your family and you were left alive? And she said, I'm learning the sword so I can get revenge. And her mother like throws down her fork and says, wrong. That's the wrong answer. I didn't bleed in ditches all over 4 kingdoms so you could just die in some stupid revenge thing. Revenge is stupid. Revenge is something dumb mercenaries do. Nobles rise above that shit. So what would you do? And she's like, I'd hold on to what you worked for, and I would do what I had to do to survive. And what would you let go of? Stupid revenge ideas. She goes, you're path damned right. And so yeah, and then we flash forward to Una, 16 and a half, and
She's very proud of the half.
Yeah, oh totally.
Never
And
lets anyone forget it.
never lets anyone forget. She's walked that road, she's earned it. And she says, I fear that my mother is dead.
Yeah, and I think, and Aaron doesn't do the thing, right?
Right.
Like, he doesn't do any of the things. He doesn't do the like, oh, it's still in the future thing. He doesn't do the like, this is only a possibility. The parts have many forks thing. He doesn't even do the like politely pretend to be shocked thing. He just looks at her, and he like cocks his head like, and then reaches out, and in the middle of the crossroads, which is the really pivotal spot, there is one rune still not like yet turned over that's sitting between the like domestic sphere and the like political ambitious career sphere.
Yeah.
And he flips it over, and we the camera catch him palming runes.
Yeah.
And the rune that flips over is it's either a coin or a sun, like a solar disc.
Yeah.
And it's the rune for like opportunity. And he looks up from it and he smiles at her, and I think that's where we cut away.
Cool.
The sun would be cool because it's a very night of no moon,
Yeah. Cal, you see Artera take a bad fall, and he seems to be picking himself up. He seems to still be alive. Meanwhile, Cathan is wrestling with a particularly virile guard. He's got him kind of grabbed, and he like looks up at you like, I need you to I need you to finish this. He's got like the sword wrist and like his neck, but and they're kind of spinning around a bit. The horse has just like walked away, frustrated with the whole thing. Yeah, they're what does Kale do?
Ooh, how is Altair looking at me? Like, what state are you?
Oh, I'm dealing with chaos. I don't know that I'm even sparing a glance or giving you direction so much as I Judd, if it's okay, I don't think I took a bad fall so much as I took horse hooves and like horse chest. I got like smashed pretty bad. But okay. I think that I'm like, it's obvious I'm not in good shape. Like, I might be breathing funny or like, you know, like just doing that, like I am moving on sheer willpower, lifting myself up. But I seem to be like focused on that situation and handling it, which is what my roles in armor and stuff are about, rather than dealing with whatever it is that Catherine has problems with.
Cool. So you're like picking yourself up on a well side and like, getting yourself up. Love it. Yeah.
Oh, and that. Okay, I think. I think what I want to do is I'm kind of like leaning on some of my XP triggers here. I think I look to Altair with like I don't say anything. I give you that look of like I need you to just like hang in there for a second, like.
Yeah.
Like I need you to be okay for 10 seconds while I help out like Altair. And I'll get you. I think that's the look that she gives you.
Cool.
And yeah, I think her intent is to like sort of book it to Kater and help him out, and then maybe like
Cathan?
Oh, sorry, Cathan, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's getting just a little muddled with Altair. I'm just making sure the sounds are different enough that we can tell.
Yeah. So I think I'll like, sort of skirmish run at like the combatant that he's fending off to like,
cool.
Like clean kill, and then we'll use that momentum to like,
cool,
go solve the other situation.
Yeah, I think it's risky. Great, right?
Awesome. This for sure feels like a skirmish.
Yep.
To me. And I think I will push myself. One time. Oh, there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you kill him? Like it's clearly like quick and efficient. Or do you want to just say like, you know, what do we see your hand do? Or like, you don't have to describe gore. You can just be like, you know, is it just like a downward cut and you're done, or is it a thrust?
I would say, oh gosh, I need to look. Oh, I closed the PDF died. I think like it'd be super cool if it's like that real Hail Mary, like I kiss the silver dagger and then like let it fly at like dude's opponent.
Yeah, Catherine.
Like Catherine, yeah, at Catherine's opponent, where like I see the shot, I like let this dagger fly, and then my back's already like turned to the main like conflict. Like I think I should have trusted that hit.
Yeah, cool. I think you let it fly, and like Catherine is shocked that you threw a dagger at him.
Like in the neck, the guy slumps forward onto him.
Yeah, and I think he just says, "Nice shot. Are we clear?" And like he's like going around to the other soldiers and just like, getting the all clear from them, I think things are looking pretty clear, and then we can come back to the tidying up after the break.
Are we gonna like sort of cut away from the scene for good? Because will we still be here after break?
If there's like one more thing you want to do, I think it's kind of interesting because let's stay with Cal for a second. Hold on. So Cal, you're looking around. Your friend is hurt. People are bleeding. Wraiths have been made, and like the first real, you're witnessing the first bloodshed of your trip to the throne. What's that like? Like what are you doing?
I think if Santa's, I think if Santa's, the one thing I wanted to do is like if Santa's like dead, like with the chain around her and stuff. Like I think once there is that bit of quiet, Kale takes that moment to like look at her and to like sort of witness what happened. And I think says, I hope you rest in peace, you fucking dog, because I don't want you to hurt anyone again. And then
yeah.
Well, like
rest in peace is a curse. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's what I was going for. Like, don't come back as a wraith, you fuck, because like I don't want to see you again, kind of thing.
Yeah, love it. Yeah,
that's what
cool. Yeah. It's an interesting counterpoint to Father, how can I forgive these people? Like we see the anger kind of leaking out. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a break on that note. That's all I wanted to. That's the way.
All right, cool.
Please.
Sweet. We'll be back in just a few. Can go make a cup of tea and stuff. So
Put out the video.
See you folks soon.